We are back at Epcot for more Food and Wine Festival to give you a complete guide to Food and Wine 2023.
Of course, there's lots of booths, but we're not doing that today. If you want to check out that video, that'll be linked in the description. Today we're talking about all of the other things that there are to do here at the festival. When you first enter, the most important thing you need to do is grab yourself a festival passport. Think of this as your little Bible to the festival. It has all of the food booth menus and all of the activities that happen throughout the festival. So you can find these at the entrance. You can also find these at any of the festival booths around the park. So grab one of these.
Another great activity for kids or kids at heart is Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak. This is basically a scavenger hunt all throughout World Showcase, and basically what you're looking for is a little Remy statue. He's probably yay tall. The nice thing about this too is that once you find all the Remys all throughout World Showcase, you do get a special prize, and this year we actually really like it. It's a nice little insulated lunchbox, and even if you don't end up finding them all, you can go ahead, if you want to ruin the surprise, you can go ahead and collect that prize when you purchase your member.
Like every festival, there is some fantastic merch that you can shop. This, of course, isn't free, but there's some really fun things this year. My personal favorite is the Encanto collection. I haven't really seen a lot of Encanto merch since the movie came out, and so this is really fun that there's a whole line dedicated specifically to this. They'll have these items all month long, but if you're looking for things that are more limited edition, like the pins, I definitely would snag those as soon as you see them because they do tend to sell out towards the end of the festival. You'll find the majority of the merch in the Creation Shop, but there are also some festival booths throughout World Showcase that feature the different collections. Speaking of Encanto merch, a fun little tip that can be really helpful for the festival is to bring a small tray, like a little lunch tray. These can be really helpful when it comes to food booths that you want a lot of the different items and you don't have a lot of hands to carry it. They do have these really fun Encanto themed ones in the Creation Shop. I don't necessarily recommend this because it's pretty big, but there's some great ones on Amazon that I'll link in the description box. There are a ton of food booths at this festival. Like literally there's over 25 food booths, so there's a lot to eat. But if you want a kind of fun way to do the food booths, you can do something called Emille's Fromage Montage. Basically, that means the cheese stroll. There are certain food items throughout the festival that if you can get a certain amount of them, you get a completer prize. So we stopped off at Flavors from Fire and we got the corned beef chips fondue thing. We've had this in the past and it is incredible. It's one of my favorite dishes at the festival. This is again why you want to make sure you have your little passport handy. Whenever you purchase one of these items, you can get a little stamp in the back. And so once you get 5 of those items, it can be 5 of the same item, it can be 5 different items, you can do 2 items of the same and all the rest different. You just have to have 5 stamps and then you can go to Shimmering Zips to get your completer prize. You can find all of the food items that are eligible on this back page. You can also see these food items on the booth menus. There's a little cheese symbol right next to the food item. If you're familiar with the Epcot festivals and you have visited before, as you're walking around, you might notice that there's really not a ton of decor around the park. That is for a reason. At first I was a little bummed. I was like, why is there no signs and things for food and wine? come to find out, starting on September 22nd, the Disney 100 celebration is coming to Epcot. So you're gonna see this whole park decked out in purple and platinum. There's going to be a fun platinum Mickey statue. You're gonna have banners all over the place, and all kinds of fun things are going to be happening. So if you are visiting before September 22nd, don't be surprised when you can't find very many food and wine banners. The best tip that I can offer you when visiting the festival is to get one of these festival gift card bracelets for two huge reasons. Number one being, this is the best way that you can budget. You can load this little puppy up with however much you want to spend for the day, and then when it's gone, it's gone. It keeps you from overspending, because believe me, when all these little food items are $5 here, $8 there, that adds up very, very quickly, especially if you're drinking. It's very easy to overspend. This is a great way to help kind of combat that. The other reason I really like this is from a paperwork standpoint. You're gonna get tons of receipts from all the little booths all around. With this, you have your one receipt for your gift card so that you have that for your checkbook, and then you can throw all your other receipts away after you get your food. So you're only having one thing to keep track of. I know it's made my life a lot easier, and I hope it makes your life a lot easier. You can purchase these gift cards at any of the merchandise locations around the park. If you do spend everything on it and you want to reload it, you can also reload it at any of the merchandise locations. You cannot reload it at the booths, so keep that, at the food booths, so keep that in mind. But any of the merchandise booths, gift shops like Creations or Disney Traders, or even the one at International Gateway, you can reload it at any of those. Even in a lot of the shops around World Showcase, you can get these reloaded. Definitely grab yourself one of these. They're very easy to pay with. You got it on bracelet on you all day long. If you're not using a magic band, these are my favorite.
One thing a lot of people miss out on at Food and Wine is the special photo opportunities with Memory Maker. You'll find one of the spots right behind me, right smack between Disney Traders and Port of Entry when you come into World Showcase. They essentially do what's called a magic shot. And if you've never done a magic shot before, basically you kind of stand like this and you look at your hand. And then basically what they do is they Photoshop Remy onto your hand, and it's super fun. They also have a little pretzel that you can hold, but spoiler, it's not a real pretzel, so don't try to eat it, because I'm pretty sure it is styrofoam and that would not taste very good. And a huge pro tip when it comes to Memory Maker is to purchase in advance of your vacation, because it saves you $30. If you prepay, it's $169. If you pay when you actually get here, it's $199. And spoiler, with Memory Maker, it's not just for Epcot, it's for throughout all of Walt Disney World, even including Disney Springs. There's a really fun photo booth where you can go take all sorts of fun, candid pictures.
Over on Instagram, we did ask you guys for some questions having to do with the festival and what you guys wanted to know. So, if we haven't already answered it, we're going to answer it now. First question. We are first timers, so any must-do things that veteran festival fans would know? So number one, I would say obviously prioritize doing the food booths. That's really why you come to the food festivals, especially Food and Wine. But beyond that, I would say make sure you take a look at the menus beforehand, because it can get very overwhelming. Don't get me wrong, the main focus of Food and Wine Festival is the food and wine, and there are more food and wine and drink options at this festival than any of the other ones. However, you are going to find activity-wise, the other festivals throughout the year are going to have more to offer.
Yeah.
But I would say things that are really fun, Eat to the Beat is really cool. Take a look at when the different artists are performing, and if you can, try and plan your trip around one that you really enjoy, that you really want to see. I think the Remy's thing is super fun, especially if you have kiddos. I think another big tip is to take your time. This festival is huge as far as the offerings, food offerings. We've come basically 5 days in a row now, 4 days in a row, something like that.
4 evenings.
Yes, we've come multiple days in a row, and we still have so much that we haven't done yet. Plan multiple days and pace yourself, because there is a lot to do. A lot of the questions that were asked we did cover in this video already, but there was one question that I thought was a really good one, and that is, what do you do about picky eaters or kid-friendly options at the festival? You do have to kind of search them out, but they are there. Again, I really encourage you, take some time before your trip to look at the food menus. I do have a blog post that has the full menu with pictures and pricing and all of that on our website, so I'll have that linked in the description. Go check that out. There's even a printable guide that has a list of all of those food options for kind of like your grab and go to prep for the festival.
But some of the items that we would recommend for kids or even pickier eaters, surprisingly, especially for kiddos, the pickle milkshake. It's so unique in its flavor that it'll just be super fun for kids to try.
And truly for the whole family. I've had a few people ask me like, oh, I don't know if we should get that. Honestly, it wasn't very expensive. Just get one and share it between the family. If you've ever done Club Cool or heard about Club Cool, it's like a whole thing where you have to go and try the Beverly. Nobody likes it, but it's still fun to do. The pickle milkshake is kind of the same thing. It's fun to do. Some people might like it. I liked it. Some people are gonna hate it, but for little kids, it's just fun to try. Like, ew, a pickle milkshake. So I would recommend that. Some other things that are actually like kid friendly that kids will probably enjoy. There's a chocolate fondue from the Alps. The cheddar soup from Canada is really, really good. I mean, it's a pretzel roll and you dip it in soup. I feel like that's pretty...
Yeah, and it basically tastes like cheese and
it's just
bacon.
Cheese and bacon. It's very good. Along with cheese, I would say the cheesy beignet is very mild. That's from France. It's basically like a cheese donut, but like savory. So that one's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good...
the waffle from Belgium.
Yes, that one's a great one too.
And you can get like different like toppings to put on it. Oh, right next to Belgium is Brazil. You can always get the cheese bread. It's a great, safe option for kiddos.
So really, if you want, the cheese stroll can be a really fun activity to do with the kids because a lot of those items are very picky eater friendly. And the dessert is basically, or like the completer prize is ice cream.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that.
Because the options are so small and for the most part pretty friendly on your wallet, even if your kid doesn't end up liking it, you're not out a ton of money or a ton of food.
And if you do have a picky eater and you're trying to kind of help them expand their palate, the Food and Wine Festival is a really great place to do it. Like Mark Allen just said, a lot of the food prices aren't super crazy and the portions aren't massive, so you're not committing to like a full meal. So if your kid hates it, you're out $5. You're not out like $15. It's kind of fun to do. It's a great thing to do together as a family, just to kind of try some new things, but they do a pretty good job of finding some eats and flavors that are going to be friendly to all different palates. Speaking of food booths, this was another really cool question. What seems like the busiest booth and which one seems like the most overlooked?
I love this question.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to answer because we mainly came on the first few days where it was psycho busy, but I can definitely say the busiest booth is going to be brewing.
Yeah,
and that pickle
100%.
milkshake. It's just so novel, and then a lot of people like wings. I've heard the wings are all really good. We haven't had a chance to go do it yet, but...
The nice thing about that booth is that it's inside and completely air conditioned. So even though you might have to wait a long time to do it,
at least it's an AC.
Yeah.
Most overlooked, I don't know if this is overlooked, but I just don't know if I hear people talk about it as much, and that's Flavors from Fire. That's my personal favorite booth. Everything from there is so good, except for the brine swine. That needs to go in the trash immediately. But all the food items there are fantastic.
the swine brine.
Swine brine.
Either
Doesn't
way.
matter. You don't need to get it. So, but the food there is really good. It's just very, very solid. And like, they do some similar items every year, but that one's just one I always love to come back to.
And the most surprising dish and drink for me so far, granted we still have a ton of stuff that we still need to try, but the fry flight.
Oh yeah, that was delicious.
That was so good.
Those were all, like, everything from that was also a knockout. Like, that's another one that's very good for picky eaters. Maybe not everything from that booth, but overall, like, those were very delicious.
For me, I would say the most surprising drink that I had was the IPA and the beer flight at Brewing. I was surprised. I expected to go in hating that, and I actually loved it. And I think it's going to be a drink that I go to time and time again when we're here.
Surprising for me was the pickle milkshake. I really didn't think, I love pickles, but I really didn't think that I would like that. But out of all of the drinks that we tried, so we did the cider flight, the beer flight, the frozen pomegranate tea thing, and the pickle shake. And the pickle was my favorite. So, I'm just telling you, you need to try it. It's worth trying. If you hate it, throw it in the trash. It's fine. But you might be surprised. One of the really cool activities that you can do during Food and Wine Festival is the Eat to the Beat concert series. This is where they have artists kind of all throughout the festival that will come and perform here at the American Gardens Theater. Tonight we're seeing Funkified, but they've got all kinds of different artists, anywhere from Boyz II Men and King and Country and Toby Mac and a whole bunch of other people that I don't know, but check the full list. It's on the website. There's all kinds of fun things to do. This is essentially a complimentary concert. It's included with your park ticket. If you are coming on the weekends, just be aware that it's going to be a little bit more busy, especially for those more popular artists like Boyz II Men. Those can pack out early, so you are going to want to make sure you get in line pretty early so you can get a good seat. If you are coming on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, they don't have a line. You can basically just walk right up and go sit down, which is great. If you are planning on coming on one of those busier nights or one of the more popular artists that you really want to see, you might consider doing a dining package. There are select restaurants around World Showcase that offer a dining package. Basically, you pay a little bit of a premium. You get a entree, appetizer, and a dessert and a drink, or something to that effect, and then you get priority seating for the show. The one that I think is the best deal is actually right here at Regal Eagle. That's the only quick service option that offers a dining package, and it's only $34. A lot of these other ones can get upwards of $50 or more, so honestly this is a steal and you're getting basically the same thing.
If you're coming to Food and Wine this year, just know it is going to be hot, and it's very important to hydrate, especially if you're drinking your way around the world. There's a lot of alcoholic beverages, so we highly recommend bringing a refillable water bottle. Our biggest pro tip for a refillable water bottle is right beside me there is a water fountain. Obviously you can fill it up there. Our biggest secret is to go to Regal Eagle, Connections Eatery, or Sunshine Seasons, and you can get free water there and ice. You can get free water at lots of locations around Epcot, but just know that you cannot get them at the festival booths. Go to a quick service restaurant and they'll have them there if you don't have a refillable water bottle. A really cool thing that you can do at Food and Wine is you can get a personalized cork. It is not free, you do have to pay for it. It's $20 for the cork and dome option, or $25 for the cork, dome, and stand option.
It's right across from the Germany and the Alps booth. This is a super fun souvenir. I'm glad we did this. And that about does it for us here at the festival tonight. There are lots of fun things to do. This is a great festival, and it's one of the longest running festivals. This runs now through November 18th, so you've got several months. Even if you haven't planned your trip yet, there's still time. There is a little bit of something for everybody to enjoy. And make sure you stay tuned because we will have lots more Food and Wine videos and content coming out over the next few months.
And if you want to watch our reaction to trying the good, the bad, and the pickles, we'll link that video at the end.
That's all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after.
We are back for more Food and Wine Festival to give you a complete guide to this year's festival.
Food and Wine Festival.
Oh my god, why can I not say that? We're not going to actually... How do I want to say that?
Good? Filming?
Yeah, it's just that the back is really overexposed.
That's fine. Like you can see there's creations, there's wind traders, all of those different things. What is that?
Disney traders.
Creations, Disney trade.
Win Traders is in Pandora.
I know. Okay.
New things at Food and Wine this year, unfortunately. And unfortunately, those have not. Unfortunately, Food and Wine has, like, really, unfortunately.
That's saying unfortunately. Said that like 80 times in that sentence.
It's not.
Is it too loud?
Yes.
Right
Hold on. Dang it, it's not wanting to focus on you.
here? Is that good?
Hang on. Do that one more time, because it's losing focus.